Yeah. Hold on, I ain't got my shit queued up right. What it is. Y'all know what it is.
Yeah, yeah!
Welcome. What it do? Welcome back to the Health Hop Network. But we here, man. Hope y'all can hear me. Appreciate y'all joining me today. How y'all doing out there, man? Before we begin, I gotta get in the habit of doing this shit. Please, if you don't mind, show your support for the channel by liking the video, leaving a comment if you have something interesting to say, or just say what's up, you know? Say something. Subscribe if you're not already subscribed. I don't think I need to remind anybody to do that. Y'all are smart people, right? You know who you want to subscribe to. But I will remind people, I need to be doing more often, is hit the bell. Hit the notification bell, man, because people are not getting notified about my videos. And I think when a lot of us got on here, there was no notification bell, right? So that's something they implemented later. And now you got to go back to some of your favorite channels and hit the bell, man. You know, that's why you haven't been seeing notifications for some of your favorite channels if you haven't. I think I'm shadow banned on Facebook, so that's a whole nother issue. But please follow my page on Facebook if you haven't already. I'm trying to get that shit back popping. Follow us on Instagram, TikTok, whatever socials are out there, we there, man. Links are in the description or on the main page in the bio. Also, buy us a tea if you feel so inclined. If you can spare a couple bucks, right? Y'all ain't gonna never see me over here flossing and pretending like we rolling in no dough over here. Like, we go through the same setbacks that y'all do, you know. I've had some minor setbacks over the years. Nothing that I want to bore y'all with. We all go through shit, but just know that your support is appreciated. I would love to be able to give y'all 2 or 3 videos a week, but that would mean it's a damn near full-time job for me, and I can't afford to do that at the time. So, y'all would like to see more content, consider showing your love, right? It would be greatly appreciated. I was gonna say Patreon, but I think I'm shutting my Patreon down. Apple been fucking with Patreon, and I never really liked that shit anyway. Shout out to my 5 Patreons out there. Just not lucrative enough for me to be dealing with the shit. I can't even put exclusive content on there like I thought I would be able to do. Not the way I would wanted to do it. A lot of bullshit with Patreon, man. I don't see that being sustainable for me in the future, but buy us a coffee. We on Streamlabs. I'm looking for some other alternatives, people to show they love, but it's free to like, comment, subscribe, share, hit the bell. Those are ways you can show your support and it don't cost you a thing, right? So that's too much to ask. I'm sure you can do those things, right? Oh, subscribe to the Black Philosophical channel, the Black Philosophical Society channel, please. Link is in the description. It's a post. The most recent post is on this page in the community section. So, pardon me, it ain't hard to find. I'm sure a card or something will pop up while you're watching this. Ashe, have us a drink. Oh, but today we having a Irish moss with live raw oat milk Didn't have to. That was redundant. Raw oat milk with sweetened with dates. So it's all the way live. That's what I was wanted to say. But yeah, it's very good. That's why it's so dark though, because of the dates. Quick and easy. Oh, today, what are we talking about, man? Meatheads versus meat eaters. And those who don't want to go vegan. First, let me say, I don't know if I ever said this publicly or not, but I do not uh I'm not under the impression, right? I don't endorse or nor do I believe that every single person on the planet needs to go vegan in order to be healthy. I don't hold to that position. I don't. It might have been a time when I thought being vegan was the best thing for everybody. Probably so. But years ago, I was confronted with some information, with a question at a lecture that threw me for a loop, you know. Matter of fact, it was at the Dick Gregory lecture that I posted on the channel. It's up if y'all want to see it. Prescription for health or something like that. I forget the name of the lecture now. Years ago, but a brother, an indigenous brother, got up at the end of the lecture and asked, "What about people like me who is part of our culture, like eating the buffalo? How do what do how does that work for us? How does this vegan thing work for us?" It's basically what he was asking. Like we got a long history relationship with this animal. And I don't remember what the answer that the brother gave, but I remember that being a very interesting question, and I kind of was fucked up by that. Like I never even considered that at that point. And it led me to think about a lot of different other people. Like I would never go to the fucking Inuit or the Eskimos trying to get them to eat this kale salad instead of they fucking seal blubber or whale blubber or whatever they over there eating. Like, yeah, I would never do that. Like, that was just crazy. A good time to them, like an enjoyable feast. They ain't had a good time until they all covered in blood. So yeah, I wouldn't even try to change how they eat. It seems to be that they are changing how they eat a little bit over the years. I don't know if it's voluntarily or not. It might be because of environmental changes or something, but yeah, they got a long history. Like I believe that they have adapted and evolved to eat a certain way. So yeah, I wouldn't waste my time on them. They're not tropical people like us. They don't come from places with lots of plants and fruits and vegetables. Like I think genetics plays a part in what you should be eating. I'm not quick to be arguing with Europeans about eating meat, right? Like let them have their raw meat and whatever the carnivore diet. I just found out that that was a real thing like a few months ago. Like when I heard people saying that, I thought they were just saying they like to eat meat. I didn't know they meant they only eat meat. Yeah, that's a thing. Some of y'all probably never heard of that shit either. I ended up in an argument with one. Didn't last very long, right? All I had to do was ask him to show me some long term examples of people surviving on this diet, thriving on this diet. It seems to be the biggest problem they're having is that they don't have any legitimate long term examples. Yeah, because that's not a sustainable lifestyle. Nobody in their right mind would think you can live off nothing but meat. That's what they've been trying to do. I think it's kind of died out now with some kind of fad. I didn't even know about it, but they're out there. Yeah, that's the type of shit Europeans be on. I wouldn't even spend too much time, like I said, arguing with them about that. Let them have it. And some of us might have more European DNA in us than others. That could influence or affect what you should be eating. I don't know. Like I said, I'm not taking the position that meat is our biggest problem. Like I don't think I've ever said that. Like that's not our issue. As I explained to the sister who prompted this video. Matter of fact, shout out to you. I ain't gonna put you on blast or nothing, but I thought this was interesting enough to talk about because I'm sure you're not alone in feeling this way. Find the comment. I lost it now. Okay. But yeah, meat consumption is not our issue. I did want to say this first. Our issue is the type of meat we eat, the amount, and what we eat it with, right? Our food combining practices are terrible. Portion sizes are insane. And we eat fucking swine, uh, dirty birds, GMO birds, fucking mad cows. Like, yeah, these are not things that, even if you think you're an omnivore, these are not things that you are equipped to eat with the tools you have. Now, I already know the argument is that we have evolved to make tools. That's our evolutionary advantage. That's like our claws and our sharp teeth. We don't need that because we got food processors and guns, right? I don't buy that, but I'll grant it. Fine, we evolved to be able to make tools and have the ability to hunt and eat other animals. Because we animals too, let's not forget. Does that mean you should, though? See, this is why a little bit of philosophy, a little bit of logic can go a long way. I've had this argument with somebody. They trying to tell me, well, since we can make tools, we should eat meat. That's a fallacy. That's the naturalistic. It's getting into the naturalistic fallacy or the is ought gap, right? How do you derive an ought from an is? Just because something is the case, like it is the case that we make tools or we evolved to make tools. How do you go from that to we ought to kill animals, right? There's a gap in between there. You have to explain why that necessarily follows, right? That's simple logic. A lot of meatheads make that mistake. They think that that's a sound argument. Oh, we make tools, then we supposed to kill animals. Says who? How do you know we didn't make tools to hunt and kill each other? Is that why we made guns to shoot people in the face? Do we make bombs to blow people up? Is that what they're supposed to be doing? What we supposed to do with them? Like you could use a screwdriver to stab somebody in the eye. Is that what it's supposed to be used for? Ought you stab somebody in the eye because you can do it with a screwdriver? Like, yeah, that's not how it works. And I've said this on a video before. I said that because you can do something, you should do it. But that's fallacious. That's not correct. But I did make the caveat that if it's positive, right? If it's something that's good for you to do, you should do it. But it doesn't. That's about your values. It doesn't necessarily follow. So I hope that wasn't too. I didn't go too far, but I just wanted to address that omnivore shit for a minute. Cause fine, I don't even like I said I don't disagree that humans are able to consume certain animals. But I would argue that it's the ones we can consume without tools. That just makes the most sense. Those are the ones that would be easiest for us to digest. Like we need tools just to digest some of these, some of this meat. You need to grind, marinate, tenderize, then cook your meat. That's a lot of processing just to make it easier for you to chew and digest. These are things that animals who are true omnivores don't have to do. That's my problem with it. We are true omnivores. We should be able to eat what other omnivores eat without tools, naturally, like other omnivores do. But like I said, I'll grant it. Fine. But I still don't see how that means we should do it. Still haven't, even though we can, you have to still draw the line with why we ought to do it. But if omnivores, if people were making arguments for eating like insects, for instance, I wouldn't say nothing about that. Like if you really, that's a food that would be easy for us to eat. You look at other mammals like us, other primates rather, they do eat things like that. They're not running around. You don't see chimps or gorillas chasing cows and gazelles and deers or none of that type of shit. They might eat little small rodents, fish, and insects. It makes sense when you look at the tools that they have, their teeth, their fangs, the nails, claws, whatever you want to call them. They're not made like lions. So I would accept that as an, yeah, that's a acceptable animal for a primate to eat. Insects, especially if y'all concerned about protein. I posted this long ago on Facebook, years ago. That if you really concerned about protein, you should be eating earthworms. You don't get much more protein packed with than that. All kind of nutrients and vitamins are in earthworms. Y'all turning your nose up to that shit right now. That's stupid. That's what I'm saying. Y'all ain't eating it for protein. So stop saying that dumb shit then. You eat the things that got the most protein in it. People all around the world eat bugs. Like that shit ain't. You eat bugs. If you eat meat, in case you don't know, you eat bugs, rat hair, rat shit, roaches, roach shit. I know that's bugs too, but I just want to make sure I specify. Not the nice, cute bugs that you like. All the nasty bugs, flies, larvae. Yeah, the FDA allows, have always allowed for a certain amount of that to get on your food. I don't know if y'all know that or not. It's the risk you take when you buying processed food. And from what I hear, they've been allowing more and more of that shit into the food as years go on, depending on who's in charge, right? So, yeah, bon appetit. Bad enough that I'm eating fake blood and all kind of other shit that I'm put in the meat. Some of y'all still think that's mud, not mud, blood swimming around in your package of chicken or ground beef. Not fucking blood. Sorry to disappoint you. Look it up. You don't believe me. Shouldn't have to tell you about this though. You eat it. You're the meat eater. Oh, okay. Let me get back to the comments. Bugs, fish, shit that you could easily eat raw if you had to. You could probably skin a fish with your hands. Probably could peel the skin off a rabbit or some other little animals. Like, I think it's an argument to be made for those. Anything you could catch kill and clean yourself without the use of tools, it would be hard for me to argue against humans ingesting it. Yeah, it's the other shit, the shit that we can't catch, kill, and clean ourselves naturally. That's the stuff I don't think we should be eating. Things that stay in our digestive systems for days and weeks. Just doesn't make sense to me. But if you're gonna eat those things, like one of the sister mentioned the benefits to eating meat. I'm not gonna get into all that. I know it's all kind of propaganda, misinformation about how healthy meat is. I mean, there's a lot of companies that have billions, trillions of dollars invested in, you know, people eating meat. They need people to keep eating these products. So don't surprise me that they would tell you it does a body good, even if it don't. Like just think about how they lied to us about lactose, about milk. It might do some people's body good, but it don't do everybody's body good, including mine. It didn't do my body good. And a lot of us is not healthy for, but they'll tell you build strong bones, high in calcium, all this shit. Things that might be true, but that don't mean you need it. You could get those things from other places, but they won't tell you that because there's an industry, and they need you to buy this product. So I would just tell you to be aware of that when you're hearing how healthy something is that's also part of a multi-gazillion-dollar industry, that there might be other things you could get those same benefits from, but you wouldn't know it because those people don't have the money to advertise. You ain't gonna see no advertisement for spinach or fruit or no other vegetables. When the last time you seen a commercial for fruit or vegetables? Yeah, that's just not how it works. So propaganda, the commercials, all of these things work together to keep you thinking that a lot of bullshit is good for you or beneficial for you. But I ain't gonna argue with you about it because this is what I wanted to say. If you can honestly say that you feel better eating meat than you do without it, then by all means you should eat it. But of course, that's gonna lead me to ask you when the last time you tried not eating it. Like the sister said that she likes vegan food. She actually loves it and eats it all the time. But she also likes to eat meat and thinks there's benefits to it. Okay. So in that situation, I would need to know, have you ever tried going vegan completely? Like just for a short amount of time. I mean, it's got to be at least a month to really feel the difference. I think you would notice something in 2 weeks. You'll notice differences and changes in yourself in probably a couple of weeks. But I recommend everybody to try it for a month. And if you haven't done that, then I'm gonna ask you how you know which is better. You don't know which is better, right? Like, so you gotta have that experience. I get the whole flexitarian thing, right? That's what it's called nowadays. I said I support it because it's a step in the right direction. Do the flexitarian thing. It's much better for the environment. It's better for you. But if that's better for you, how do you know that not eating meat at all wouldn't be the best thing for you? Like how you know you wouldn't feel better than you do now if you let it go, if you have never let it go. And if you have, you tried it. Then I gotta ask another question. What were you eating when you tried it? There's a lot of people say they go vegan and they didn't feel so good, right? Well, it's a lot of bullshit that's vegan. You know, you could be vegan and never eat a salad, right? You don't never have to eat an actual raw or green vegetable, even if it's cooked. You don't never have to eat that. You don't have to eat a piece of fruit. You could just eat cookies, candies, donuts, chips. Like it's a lot of vegan bullshit. There's a lot of fat vegans. So just saying you went vegan ain't gonna be enough. I still need to know what you ate while you were vegan to know if you really, were doing it right. That's why I don't even like the term vegan, by the way. Told y'all this a long time ago. I don't really like calling myself that. I really prefer the term cruelty-free vegetarian. I feel like I made that up, but I don't probably didn't. Every time I think I made something up, I found out somebody said it already. But yeah, I think I'm going with that. Cruelty-free vegan. That means I don't uh unnecessarily use animal products. You might catch me using some honey. I'm not against that. So that would make me not vegan. But even if I didn't use it, I still wouldn't use the term vegan because you could be vegan, like I said, and not eat enough vegetables. But a vegetarian is somebody who consumes mostly vegetables. That's the majority of your diet. Can't be a vegetarian and live off junk. You can be a vegan and live off junk. So, yeah. No, I used the word vegan a lot in that last video. I'm used to using it, but I don't really like it. It's just a pop culture word. But anyway, so yeah, to know if the benefits are really worth it, you'd have to do without it, right? Know if there are more benefits in eating it than not eating it. So, yeah, I would encourage you if you haven't, just give it a try and see. Now, if you on some flexitarian shit, then that's great. But if you eat meat every day, then I would definitely ask, do you think that's beneficial? Like, how much meat do you need for it to benefit you? Because if you do eat it every day, not saying you do, but whoever it may apply to, how do you deal with the environmental impact? That was something else I asked the sister. I didn't get no responses to these questions, by the way, sister. You know who you are. I don't know what happened, but yeah, how do you deal with the environmental impact? Because I know if you are a flexitarian, then you probably care about the environment a little bit, right? And if you're not, if you're a person who eats meat every day, then I want to know why you don't care. I need to understand that. Like, why you don't give a fuck about animal suffering or the environment. Like, just break that down to me. Tell me why having a steak is more important than that to you. Like, I want to know. Please answer that for me, because I don't understand that kind of mentality. Like, if you here listening to me, it seemed like you would care about that a little bit. Like, it's people who got pets and claim to be animal lovers and then will support factory farming. Like, that's insane. You'll support the torture and the mistreatment of animals and claim you love animals. So yeah, make that make sense to me. But even if you're a flexitarian, if you acknowledge that what you're doing is helping the environment, then you would have to acknowledge that if you cut it out completely, then it would help even more, right? So how do you rationalize that? How do you say, okay, I'm gonna eat meat once a week, twice a week, 3 times a week, whatever, or just skip it once a day, once a week, right? Like meatless Monday, right? You acknowledge that that can make a difference, then I don't understand why you wouldn't want to go all out. you'd have to tell me that the benefits outweigh the benefits of letting it go. I don't know how you would justify that. Like, another thing omnivores like to say is that, you know, meat has helped people survive. Of course. I already talked about the Inuit. I don't doubt that it can help people survive. I've watched fucking Alone. You know what I'm saying? I know how this shit go. Like I told y'all, if I was starving, I'll eat one of you motherfuckers if I need to, before I die. So this ain't about that for me. But you don't need it to survive right now. So that's a mute argument. You find yourself in a situation where you need to eat some meat, then ain't nobody gonna be arguing with you about that. We arguing with you about it because we don't need it right now. So it's not about survival. So what exactly is the benefit? Because anything you saying you can get from any nutrient that you think you can get from it, any vitamin, whatever, you can supplement that. So tell me why animal suffering is not enough to make you want to take a supplement, or why the environmental impact is not enough to say I'll just supplement that. Funny thing about supplements is the people who use the most supplements are meat eaters. Like they wouldn't be able to stay in business if they were just selling to vegans and vegetarians. So people who eat meat use supplements already. So it wouldn't be some shock to you to have to start using supplements. But make it make sense, man. Are you unaware? Are you not familiar with the environmental impact? I don't see how you could be a flexitarian and say you're not. So you're a meat eater who eats meat every day. Are you unaware of the environmental impact? I talked about this shit years ago, so if you've been following me, should have heard about it. Maybe you haven't. Go back and watch. Are you part of the problem or part of the solution? That's the name of the video. Recommend you check it out if you're not aware of the problem that you're causing. Google it. The environmental impact of factory farming. It's a huge issue. So how do you deal with that? Does the benefit that you get from it outweigh that? These are things you got to think about. I need to hear from you. I want to know how you rationalize that. Because I don't know how to do it. Like, it's one thing if you cook and kill, if you catch, kill, and clean your own food. Told y'all years ago, me, those are the only people who should be eating meat. People who are willing to go out there, hunt it, kill it, cut that bitch open, gut it, skin it. You're not willing to do the dirty work. I don't understand. No, you should not be eating it because all you're doing is contributing to the problem. Like, I think if people would, yeah, if we went back to that kind of lifestyle, a lot of the problems would be eliminated. I have much argument against that. It's just ridiculous. Like, if you the type of person, I've seen cooking shows, watching MasterChef, they bring out live chickens and hand them to these chefs, and they all, oh my God, oh, what do you want me to do? They were telling them that they had to kill them, but of course they didn't make them do that. But they all nutted up at the thought. Some of them, anyway, was nutting up at the thought of having to kill the chicken. They all eat chicken and cook them up all the time. But you can't, you squeamish when it's time to snap that neck. Like, that's crazy to me. But if you one of those people, you squeamish about the shit you eat, you should not be eating it. you ain't watched every documentary you can get your hands on about how shit works behind these walls in these buildings, in these farms, these factories, these uh, places where these plants, where they mass producing these animals. Like, are you unaware? Like, have you not watched these things? Talking to the meatheads, you meat eaters. Let me explain. Let me do meatheads versus meat eaters real quick. I don't know if this video is going out. Meat eaters are people like the person who made this comment. They eat vegan food. They love vegan food. They just like to eat meat sometimes. Maybe a lot of times. I don't know. They can be reasoned with, right? They're not just like, oh no, I ain't never trying no vegan food. I ain't eating that shit. I don't want that shit. I love meat. That's a meathead. Somebody who's just completely unreasonable about the topic. They addicted. You're just a junkie. A meathead, like a crackhead, right? And that's another term I feel like I made up. I never heard nobody saying meathead before me. But I'm sure somebody was. But yeah, that's the difference. So I respect a meat eater who I can sit down and talk to, and they be like, yeah, that makes sense. And they might even be like, yeah, I could decrease my meat intake. I could do that. I understand what you're saying. Yeah, I don't disagree with that. I'll try that. Yeah, let me have some of that. Let me see what it's talking about. Those are meat eaters, reasonable people. Might just not be, well informed about this thing. Maybe they haven't seen these documentaries. They don't know how their meat is being processed, how it's being treated. All it might take is one piece of information to change their mind. A meathead, they don't give a fuck, right? They not finna watch it. They not finna hear it. They don't want to see it. They just living in their fucking willful ignorance, arrogant ignorance. Yeah, I have very little sympathy or patience or tolerance for meatheads. Just a fucking dummy. But to the meat eaters who care, you got a heart, you got a brain. How do you rationalize? How do you reconcile what you've seen on these documentaries with what you put on your plate? If you're not out getting your own meat, I really want to hear from you. I need to understand. I know y'all don't just can't say I don't give a fuck. If that's what if that's your position, I want to hear that shit too. Just tell me you don't give a fuck and then tell me why. How you don't give a fuck. So just something to think about. Cause I don't get it. I get the desire to eat meat. I understand liking it. I loved it at one point. Told y'all my nickname was the Meat Man. Pause for the weirdos. My grandma and mama named me that because I would not eat a meal without meat on it. They tried to do veggie plates. They would go and get me some chicken to go with my veggie plate. Get a box of chicken. You ain't gonna want this. Yeah, I was bad. I was a meathead. You couldn't tell me shit. I eat every kind of meat. I ate shit that some of y'all would never touch. Pig's feet, pig ears, fucking spam, Vienna sausages, sauce, hog's head cheese. Yeah, I did all of that shit, man. Chitlins. Oh yeah, loved them too. Yeah, yeah, I enjoyed all that shit just like y'all did, man. I didn't know no fucking better. My stomach just kind of got nauseous just talking about some of that shit though. But once I saw and learned certain things, I just was not able to continue doing that shit. So how are you? That's the question. How are you able to continue doing it? Have you seen these things? Have you learned this shit? That's what I need to know. How much time have you spent on the other side to test it out, to see how you feel? Just some questions I got for you, man. I really want to know. Yeah, this is something I need people to understand about me first, too. I'm in a position where I can say this now. I have officially got to the point now where I have lived both lives an equal amount of time, right? There's the life of me as the poisonous animal eater who believed in fucking spookism and fairy tales and invisible men and all that type of shit, religion. And then there's the me who's been vegan and a raw foodist and, you know, non believing, backsliding, stiff necked heathen. Right? I've been on both sides of this thing. So I have to try to remind people that I know what it's like to be you. I know what it's like to believe what you believe. I know what it's like to eat what you eat, to feel what you feel, to think how you think. You don't know what it's like to be me though. Right? You ain't never been on this side. You ain't never spent 20 something years doing the opposite of that shit you've been doing. Shout out to some of y'all. Some of y'all can say the same thing. Some of y'all have. But the people who I'm usually arguing with have not, right? They've been stuck on stupid their whole life. So I say that to say that, don't be so quick to argue with people who've been there. Like I'm speaking from experience. Don't have to try to debate everything. Sometimes you can just learn something. This is why I only debate my equals, right? All others I teach. Peace be upon him, Dr. Clark. But yeah, I just need to throw that out there. People are always trying to come at me like that. We on the same playing field. Like we on the equal playing field. We not, man. I got experience that you would never have. I got 25 years of this life here, of healing people, healing myself. I've watched this shit work too many times for somebody to try to tell me it don't. So if you trying to tell me you got another approach, a better method, then you're gonna have to show me how yours has worked. How many people have you healed using your method? Have you healed yourself? Start there. It's just things to think about, man. I got the empirical evidence on my side. 25 years. I also got, man, I'm glad I didn't forget to say this. I also got people to aspire to be. I post them all the time on Facebook. 70, 80-year-old vegans, right? In tip top shape. And I always ask the meatheads, where are your examples? Where's your Chef Babette? Where's your Annette Larkins? Where's your Queen of Fua? Where's your Iris Latham? Where's your high priest Quatamani? Where's your Dick Gregory? Who do y'all have? Who show me somebody over 70 that is a firm meathead and they thriving in their old age. Show me. I can show you several. I could post you a list of uh vegans that's over 100 years old right now. Not somewhere laid up in a hospital, but thriving. Can you do the same? Or are you gonna show me a bunch of fat, sick people who can barely move if they made it to that age? Just lost the brother not too many years ago. I always forget his name. Is it? Hold on. I forget it now. But the brother lived to somewhere between 110, I think, and 124 years old. I forget. They never was sure about his real age, but he was definitely over 100 years old. He swore by a plant-based diet, right? He had his 5 list of foods or was something that he had to have, like honey and olive oil, I think was one of them. Oh, I don't know. Meat was not on the list. I know that. Pardon us. Man, I can't believe I forgot his name. Hopefully it'll pop up if I find it. But yeah, I got plenty of examples, man. Like plenty of people who inspire me to stay on my path. So meatheads, meat eaters, if you are a proponent of eating meat and you think this is the way we should live, where are your examples? Shout out to Annette. Confusing people's names now. Annette Larkins, her husband passed. I've had some disparaging words to say about her husband in the past. You know, I felt bad about her being burdened by him. Like I just felt like he was like I know his type. You know what I mean? Like she was not able to influence him to be healthy. That was just sad to me. He ended up being a burden on her. She had to take care of him and stop doing what she was doing. But I know she loved him and all that shit, so my condolences to her. But when I see him, he looks like what I think most meatheads' future is gonna be. That's what you have to aspire to. Like I see examples of what y'all gonna be all the time. They're just not the ones you would want to share and praise. People out here looking bad. So think about that. If you think it's beneficial to continue to eat meat, what are your examples? You probably can find some flexitarians that's doing well. I don't see them on my timeline too often. Not that age, not over 70. But if you know of some examples, I'd be interested in seeing them. I don't think that's not possible, right? Like I said, if you ate meat once a week, you probably would be fine. But yeah, we gotta just, like I said, check the portions, the type, and the what we combine them with. Meat should not ever go with potatoes or starch. Now you clogging yourself up. Not good for you. Meat should go with vegetables if you're gonna eat it. Eat it with salad. That's it. no starch. Most of us portions are crazy with everything we eat over here, but especially the meat. Like most of us eat enough meat in a day, more meat in a day than a lot of people around the world eat probably all month. So think about that, like doing too much. But no, I'm going back and forth kind of between meatheads and meat eaters, but I'm trying to address everybody. As you did say, sis, gotta mention it. You did say you need to get your weight down and get healthier. So that's why I asked you, have you ever tried going vegan, like completely? Like, why wouldn't you want to try that to see if that would help with that? What benefits are you thinking you're going to miss out on by doing that? I need to know. I need to understand this shit. Just be wanting to understand, man. So what else? There was something else I was going to mention. Fuck, I was going to say something. Yeah, I think that was about it. It was something I was going to say, and now I just lost it. Maybe it'll be a part 2. Yeah, y'all marinate on that, man, and that's gonna drive me fucking crazy now. Alright. Hopefully this will be something I can salvage and make something out of. It's fucking up on y'all. Until next time, y'all be healthy. Peace.